Assalamualaikum. My name is Mohd Najmi Kasri and my metric number is S60320 and under lecturer Dr. Roswati Betty Ma'amin. Today I will talk about ocean iron fertilization. Today we will learn about history of the iron fertilization hypothesis, area of the iron fertilization, relationship between iron fertilization with the climate, number of the experiment, successful or not, and the future ocean iron fertilization experiment. History of iron fertilization hypothesis. It was defined as a method to relieve and resolve the problem of global warming, which aimed to reduce the atmospheric carbon dioxide level by adding nutrients like iron, nitrogen, or phosphorus compound to promote the phytoplankton growth, and as a result, carbon export to the deep ocean or sediment via the ocean biological pump. How did they know about the atmospheric gas composition in the ancient time? Analysis of a trapped air bubble in the Arctic-Antarctic ice core have revealed that atmospheric carbon dioxide, about 180 part per million during the last glacial maximum, was much lower than during pre-industrial time, about 218 part per million. Martin's findings thus include are widely considered a primary natural iron source for ocean fertilization, and Martin proposed that the higher dust input during the last glacial maximum relieved iron constraint and as a result significantly strengthened the biological pump in the high nutrient and low chlorophyll HNLC zone, particularly in the Southern Ocean. What is the main point of the experiment? The emphasis has been on the artificial addition of iron to HNLC zone in order to improve the carbon friction and the subsequent export via the biological pump. B is the area of the iron fertilization. Why this area has been of interest by scientists and industry. For the Equatorial Pacific, initially, Martin's hypothesis was supported by the result of laboratory and shipboard iron enrichment bottle experiment. However, the extrapolation of this result based on bottle incubation that exclude higher trophic level have been strongly criticized due to possible underestimate in grazing rate and other bottle effect. To deal with the issue, in situ iron fertilization experiment at whole ecosystem level are required. For the subarctic North Pacific, the subarctic North Pacific show a strong longitude gradient in iodine dust deposition. Then, to investigate the relationship between the phytoplankton biomass or community and dust deposition. For the Southern Ocean, the Southern Ocean plays an important role in the intermediate and deep water formation and has the greatest potential of any other major ocean basin for the carbon sequestration associated with the artificial iron addition. It is known as the largest HNLC region in the world ocean, and models simulating artificial ocean iron fertilization have predicted that among all HNLC regions, the effect of ocean iron fertilization on the carbon sequestration is greatest in the Southern Ocean. However, a simple extrapolation of the iron experiment to result to the Southern Ocean was not deemed appropriate because of the vastly different environmental conditions. For the subtropical North Atlantic, unlike HNLC region, primary producer in the low nutrient and low chlorophyll LNLC region, which are predominantly occupied by the nitrogen fixers, is generally co-limited by the phosphate and iron. To investigate the impact of iron and the phosphate co-limited on primary producer. Relationship between high iron and reduced carbon in the atmosphere and vice versa. When iron is added to the ocean, it will enhance the biological pump process. Based on the Martin hypothesis, we know that the iron is essential for the growth of phytoplankton. When the concentration of the iron in a certain region increase, the photosynthesis rate will also increase, and as a result, more carbon dioxide uptake from the atmosphere and promote a better climate change. On the other hand, when the concentration of the iron in certain region decrease, the photosynthesis rate will decrease, and as a result, less carbon dioxide uptake from the atmosphere and a worse climate occur. Number of experiments. There are 6 natural ocean iron fertilization and 13 artificial ocean iron fertilization. For the 13 artificial ocean fertilization, there are 2 in Equatorial Pacific, 3 in subarctic North Pacific. There are 7 in Southern Ocean and 1 subtropical North Atlantic. Limitation for iron experiment 1, subduction of the fertilized patch. Single iron addition, insufficient experimental period, micro or macronutrient limitation. For iron experiment 2, no export flux measurement in the deep ocean, insufficient experimental duration. For the soil, insufficient experimental duration. Eisen experiment, like limitation by storm, insufficient experimental duration. For the Southern Ocean iron experiment in North, entrainment or dissolve silicate into the fertilized patch by physical mixing. No direct measurement of export flux with the sediment thread. For the Southern Ocean iron experiment in South, insufficient experimental duration. For the sage, high dilution rate by small patch size, and the seed one, single ion addition and insufficient experimental duration. All these experiments achieve their main aim and consider a success. Not all of these experiments achieve their main aim because of some limitation that occur during that time. Only IFAC considered a success because had a significant increase in carbon export. How to improve and what should be considered to ensure the future experiment achieve its main goal. Location. Experiment were conducted in the center of an eddy structure when grazing pressure is low and silicate levels are high. Duration. Shipboard observation extending over a minimum of about 40 days with the multiple iron injection. Effective tracing of fertilization patch. Tracing of the iron fertilized patch using both physical like drifting buoy and biogeochemical sulfur hexafluoride, photosynthetic quantum efficiency and partial pressure of carbon dioxide tracer. Using high-end application, employment of naturally buoyant sediment trap (NBST) and application of the water column derived thorium-234. The method added two depths with autonomous profiler equipped with an underwater video profiler UVP and a transmitter. Monitoring possible side effect. Monitoring of side effect on marine or ocean ecosystem including production of the climate relevant gases like nitrous oxide, dimethyl sulfide and halogenated volatile organic compound. The decline in oxygen inventory and development of toxic algal bloom with optical sensor equipped autonomous moor profiler and or autonomous benthic vehicle. Guideline. Introduce the scientist artificial ocean iron fertilization experimental design guideline. This is the reference and thank you.